Hi, everyone. Welcome back. All right, so I just wanted to take you through a brief review of some strategies for academic essay writing, since we do have our short response due this Sunday, July 19th, before midnight. So remember your prompts for this available right here. We'll just look at them briefly so that you know exactly what you are going to be doing. So it is certainly a short essay, right? So you're aiming to write 2 to 3 double-spaced pages. If you want to write more than that, you certainly can. I give you a lot of reminders here about the central components that you want to include beyond sort of your classic intro, body, conclusion, thesis statement combination. You want to make sure that you are not falling into the trap of simply summarizing, right? But that you're really pushing yourself to analyze in the way that a lot of you were doing nicely in the discussion boards. You're going to be providing evidence to back up your central claim of your thesis statement and making sure that every quotation that you include, you really are then pushing yourself to analyze it fully, right? You're inserting a quote and then putting a few sentences afterwards where you analyze how it relates to your thesis. And also a really strong literary analysis will often engage with the way that the text is written, right? So think about ideas like diction, narration, use of literary devices. So think about the type of language that the author is using and how that choice in terms of style relates to the argument that you're trying to make. Okay, now reminder that if you are including outside research in this, that you want to be incredibly careful with your citations. Refer back to Purdue if you need a refresher, but remember you're citing those two ways, right? So in text with an in-text citation like this, and then with a works cited entry at the end of the essay. You have 4 prompts to choose from. And then I'm including at the end of the week's resources, a slideshow which is going to dig into each part of the academic essay in more depth. So like I said, this is a really short assignment, right? So this is something where we can start off and then we're going to build into larger works as the semester goes on. But if you haven't written an essay like this in a while, or maybe you're just looking to improve, I would read through the slides in detail. I'm not going to go through them all here because you don't need to see me read them. You can read them on your own. But in general, it's broken down into review of strategies for introductory paragraphs. I give you some samples of the types of rhetorical moves that people sometimes use in their intro that you might want to avoid because they're not so effective. Remember, one of the aims for your intro is to preview the contents of the essay, grab the reader's attention. You want to avoid filler, right? So a sentence like, since literature first began, you want to avoid stuff like that and instead be nice and specific, direct, engaging. Don't fall into the trap of including filler in that opening because you're trying to grab the reader's attention. Okay, then I give you some important reminders about thesis statements. So if you're somebody who's struggled to craft a strong argument, these might be the slides that you want to refer back to. A reminder that your thesis statement is a contestable statement. It shouldn't be a fact. It should require evidence and analysis in order to defend it and back it up. So you should be able to think of a plausible counter argument to your thesis statement. If you can't, that means that you probably need to make it less factual and more challenging to prove. So I give you some samples again of weaker versions of thesis statements, right? So ones that don't really make arguments, ones that are too broad, ones that are just obvious facts instead of contestable statements. So some more samples of things that you want to avoid with your own thesis writing. And then some information on quotations, right? Making sure that you're framing them, that you're introducing them with your own words, and then you're analyzing them fully. So remember, you want to make sure that you are not just allowing your quotes to stand alone. You're using them as evidence, and then you're analyzing them in depth. And then finally, some reminders about concluding paragraphs. So rhetorically, your conclusion allows you to emphasize why your paper matters, right? So it shouldn't just repeat what you've already said. Instead, it should aim to really emphasize how your argument relates to a larger set of ideas that are important outside the context of that paper. So I give you some ideas and some suggestions about how you do that here. All right, so thanks everybody. I'm looking forward to reading your short responses, and remember, you're going to post them Sunday before midnight. All right, thanks.